Good afternoon, everybody. Colin here with Techout, and today we are going to be unboxing my look at my hair, my Galaxy S25 Edge. Right here, I won this technically, kinda, but not really because I had to pay for it. So I was in a Samsung stream, part of the Galaxy Squad thing I do, and I entered the giveaway. They just had you comment something in the live stream, and put in your Instagram handle. And I did that, and I got a DM from their Instagram saying that I was selected as one of the grand prize winners. I filled out all the stuff, and then they tell me, well, because you are part of the Galaxy Squad program, that's technically a Samsung affiliate, you're not eligible to win. So I still wanted one, so I went ahead and picked one up on Amazon, as you can see by the box. So I did get one still. It just wasn't really, I didn't win one. I mean, I guess I did win one, but I didn't get the one that I won at the end of the day. So kind of sucks, but is what it is. So we're going to be unboxing the one that I had to pay for here, the Amazon one. It is the phone and the screen protector in here. Haven't bought a case yet. But I will. I just don't know which one yet. So here is the phone right there. And here is the screen protector right here. I need to link that in the description for those of you wondering. I've used these before on my S25 Ultra, my iPhone, all that kind of stuff. Let me put the link in the description real quick for anybody that might be interested. You can also look, they do make these screen protectors for plenty of other devices. If you don't have an S25 Edge, that's perfectly fine. But I will put that in the description. And if anybody wants to buy an S25 Edge and support the channel, the link for that is in the description as well. Also in the YouTube shopping, the little YouTube shopping banner thing, the tagged products. On there you can buy it directly from Samsung, or you can use the Amazon link or the HAL link, which is also directly through Samsung. So multiple options there. All of them support the channel in one way or the other. So we're going to go ahead and get this open first, just so I have this ready to go. These are really nice screen protectors. I like how these install. W skin, I guess, is what it would be, with an E. How's it going, Preston? See you in the chat. I figured I've had some rough battery life on iOS 26 beta 1, so this phone can't be any better. I mean, can't be any worse. Probably not too much better, but it can't be any worse. Let's see. All right, they've stepped up the game here on these since I had one last. It looks like this is a little bit easier. Doesn't look like it has the roller deal that it had before, which is fine. Maybe, no, I don't think it does. So let's see here. You got your pull tab, your tray, all your accessories, your wipes and stuff like that right here. Probably won't have to wipe it down too much. Some stickers they include, and a little warranty thing. This is a 2-pack, so the other screen protectors right here as well. I'm just going to put that off to the side for now. So this is the top, so it looks like we can put the phone in here. I think the screen protector, yeah, it should. The phone goes on here, and then this just closes on top of it. You don't put the phone on top of this or anything. This goes on top of it, and then it's going to pull the wrapper off when you go to insert it. So that's pretty nice. I like that installation tray. And then let's get to the phone itself right here. I can't wait to actually feel this thing. I didn't think that this would be worthwhile having an S25 Ultra, but from the videos and the reviews I've seen, you have to actually experience this and hold it in your hand to get the full experience of how thin it is. And just like the UI and everything just feels totally different when it's, you know, actually in your hands. So we're going to experience this here in 1 second and see if this is worth the just over $1,000 price tag, or if you should just get an S25 Ultra. We got your typical Samsung stuff where the cable and the instructions are in the top of the box here. I don't need any of that, so I'm just going to leave it in the top of the box. Okay, wow, that is, so first impressions, it feels like if you've ever used a Z Fold 6, I would say, probably not the, maybe the 5, not below that though. When you unfold the phone and it's like super thin because it's, you know, not two halves stacked together anymore, that's kind of what this reminds me of. It's really thin, and it feels like basically like an open Z Fold 6, but you can fit it, you know, in one hand. You don't have to, you know, use two hands to hold it like a foldable. So it definitely feels very nice. I'll compare it to my S25 Ultra here in a second. I'm gonna go ahead and put the screen protector on. Of course, we don't have anything else in the box. They don't give you any chargers or anything like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to put it in here, like so. I'm going to get this tab facing up. This is the best time to install a screen protector, is right when you get it. No dust, no fingerprints. And then if you always have a backup screen protector on hand, like this is a 2-pack, and then if something happens to this screen protector, yes, it does support wireless charging. It is Qi 2 ready. It doesn't have built-in magnets, but it does have, if you have a magnetic case, you can Qi 2 wireless charge. 15 watts is the maximum. I don't have any cases for it right now. I didn't get any cases yet. I will be picking a couple up here in the next few days. But I didn't get anything other than this screen protector right now, just because I wanted to, right off the bat, I just wanted to feel how thin it was and everything like that. I didn't want to put a case on it and make it bulky. All right, so we're just going to give this a pull, like so. And that also helps remove dust when it rolls over the phone like that. And then we're going to go like this. And it says wait for 20 seconds. As you can see, it's kind of adhering right there. They did give us a squeegee if we have any bubbles. So we can use that. So we're going to give it a few more seconds here. It says press right here. We'll just go like that. Some of the bubbling you see down here is the plastic between the glass and the screen protector itself, not the screen protector and the screen. All right, so we're going to go ahead and open it back up. I like how it kind of has some clips right here, so it's not popping open when you're trying to install it. I don't think that's, oh, I think that lifted the, did that lift the screen protector up, or is that just the, uh-oh. That didn't work right. Let's make sure that's on there. We do have a little piece of dust right here now. So we're gonna get a sticker. I think I see what I did wrong here. My fault. Let's see, we'll get a dust sticker here. I don't think we hurt the screen protector, but okay, we're gonna try this again. I think this should go on. Okay, so we're gonna give that a second here. And then I think we have to press down here. Let me take it off. kind of sticking to that top thing more than I think it should have, but there we go. Now we just have the plastic and not the whole screen protector there. So we're gonna move some of this out of the way. And then we're gonna take our squeegee. Hopefully we didn't get any dust under there having to mess with it. Kind of work that one over there. I don't see any dust right off the bat. So I think nope, there's a little piece right there, I think, but we're just gonna leave this for now. That was my fault that I didn't pay attention and I didn't press it right where it said. I thought that was for putting it on and not taking it out of the tray, or doing the little swipe thing. We do have a couple specks under there. There's something right there, and then there's one right there as well. But I'm probably gonna have some other screen protectors to try out anyway. So that's not really visible. It's not creating a huge bubble on it. So I'm not gonna worry about it right now. I'm just gonna save this one for when I review some other stuff for it. I will. This will be the first one I take off to review some other stuff. That way I'm not wasting a good install. Probably reach out to Whitestone Dome and see if they have any for this that they want me to review, because they usually send some stuff out. I had some stuff for the S25, stuff like that, so it's not too bad. I think once the screen's on, we won't really notice it. We'll take a little Samsung QR code off of it back there. All right, let's go ahead and start this puppy up. There we go. The only kind of weird thing is that the USB port is not centered. You can see that. It's not centered on the frame. It's lower than it is, higher. But I guess probably had to do that for the screen. There's some internals in there that they couldn't just, slap it dead center. So I'll go ahead and hit start here. I agree. We're not going to do any of the optional stuff. I do have another device to set up with, so we're going to scan the QR code here. All right, set up. I'm just scanning it with my other phone here. All right, we're going to enter our screen lock. Oops. There we go. And that transfers the Wi-Fi network and everything too. So with any luck, we should have the Wi-Fi connected automatically, and we do. And it is definitely a totally different experience holding this versus holding this. It's basically the same internal specs and everything like that, but it's totally different. Let's see, it's not going to transfer the SIM, I don't think so. I mean, we can try, but I don't think it'll work. I don't think Visible supports the device-to-device transfer. But we shall see. Maybe it'll work. It's trying. While that tries, I'm going to take my other one out of my case here. So there's the S25 Ultra versus the Edge. So it's almost like, let's see if I can get a flat side here. I would say just over like half the thickness of this phone. seeing if I got an email from Visible about my SIM transferring, but I didn't, so I don't know. I don't know if it's doing it or not. But we will give it a second and see if it's going to work, or if I'm going to have to go to their app and do it. I know when I had T-Mobile, it didn't take super long to do this, so. Can I stop it? I'm just going to do it in the app, but it doesn't look like it's going to let me cancel it. I can't go back or anything. Let's see. SIM manager. Nope, I can't do anything from that phone. So hopefully this will like time out or something if it's not going to work. I don't think it'll. Okay, apparently we might have to like restart it or something. I'm just going to go ahead and restart. I don't think Visible supports that, so I'm not going to sit here and wait for it. Alright, same thing there. It's still connected to the Wi-Fi. And just FYI, this is actually not the first phone of this thickness. The Moto Z, back in like 2015, 2016, I think it was, maybe even earlier than that, was actually a little bit thinner than this phone. So this is not something crazy to do, but just kind of phones got thicker, you know, bigger batteries, you know, faster processor, stuff like that. So the thickness was kind of something that was important. All right, we're going to transfer data, wireless. Open Smart Switch on your other device. Let's see, send from this phone, wireless. Connecting to transfer your data. Hopefully it'll transfer everything as is. I guess I could use a cable if I really wanted to. Oh, okay, it's already doing it, so no need to. All right, so it'll take about 18, let's see. Here, I'm gonna try, let's do disconnect. I'm gonna go back. Hopefully we can cable. Open smart switch again. Plug them into each other. Just probably make it like way faster than doing wireless. Send from this phone. Connect. Connected. Okay, apparently the cable is the same amount of time as that, but transferring the settings, you can see it just went into dark mode. I guess we're not going to get a progress bar or anything. Turn the light so it's not reflecting off the screen. The only thing, this one does not have the anti-reflective screen. You can get the anti-reflective screen protectors, but when I ordered it, they did not have any in stock that would be here this week. All right, so I just registered the face. Stay unlocked until swipe. Face unlock on. Require eyes open. Brighten screen. Yep. Oops. I accidentally turned that off. What did I do? I went back too far. I just wanted to change that one setting back. Whatever you're doing, if you miss a step in setup, just roll with it and fix it later in settings, because going back doesn't necessarily go back. Auto blocker, I don't want that on because it blocks the USB sometimes. That's fine. Alright, you're all set up. I'm guessing it's still... Okay, thankfully it transferred my home screen, because I hate having to set the home screen back up. So that did work. Syncing's about to start. Installing apps, charging, connect device via USB. Okay, that's... I'll just leave it alone for now, but I don't really want it to charge my other phone. Alright, so that's what we're doing. I guess I can go to other stuff. I need to change. Some of this should change, like the navigation bar and stuff like that. Should, once the settings transfer over, should should fix that. And then I'm just going to set up the fingerprints while I wait. So it looks like you can do this with it still restoring your stuff from Smart Switch. So there's one. Two. Three. And 4. Which is the max you can do. I don't know why, but if anybody knows why the maximum is 4, let me know in the comments. As you can see, it won't let us add anymore. Alright, so there we go. We can just do tap to show. Oops. Tap to, oh, I forgot. Gestures. So I think these widgets are just waiting on their apps to restore, because that's, I can't see it on my other phone right now. I don't know what's up there, but Google Home is one of those. Weather, I think. Yeah. but it's still downloading the apps. I don't think anything's really downloaded yet, other than like system apps like Wear and the stuff down here. But yeah, it's really, really nice, really light, really thin. I don't know how I'm gonna feel about holding it. I mean, obviously it feels good being this thin, but it's kind of like, is it gonna be easy to hold? Is it gonna be slippery? Like when I'm, kind of out and about, how's that gonna be? But we'll see how that feels and how it is in day-to-day use. One thing I'm gonna miss is having this phone, having the same UI, having all that same stuff. It's, basically software-wise an exact mirror of this phone, but I'm not gonna have my S Pen, so, see if I find myself reaching for that or not. I don't use it too much on my S25 Ultra, but it's just nice that it's there. Did it turn on vibrate? Yeah, vibrates on. So yeah, it's just nice that it's there. But other than that, it feels very, very nice. We'll have to see. Like I said, I'll update you guys on how the battery life is and all that kind of stuff. If it's good, terrible, we'll compare it to the S25 Ultra. I am going to be keeping this phone. I'm probably going to be trading this one in. If I do like the foldables and I want to get a foldable, this will probably be my trade-in device. That just depends on the foldables this year. If not, I'll keep this one and I'll keep, the Edge. But it's probably going to be this one, the Edge, and my iPhone coming up here soon. And the Pixel, I'll be doing some stuff with the Pixel here probably. Maybe some custom ROMs, but some more Android 16 stuff, just because that one's the one that gets Android 16 the fastest. And then I'll probably go ahead and be selling the Razer. I tried the Clix keyboard with it. I like the Clix keyboard with it, but there's still some stuff to work out. So if I was going to do this, I'd probably end up getting the Ultra, just the faster processor and stuff like that, if I was going to use it as a daily. But I tried it. I tried it with the Clix, and it's just not for me. I do like having the keyboard, but like I said, there's still some bugs and stuff like that that they're working out, and it's just not feasible to use it day to day right now. So we're still transferring. We can see here it's on apps right now, so it's transferring all the app data. I think the apps are also downloading. Okay, no, so it's transferring the actual apps themselves from the other phone as well. It says 16 minutes left, but I think it's kind of overestimating that. I don't think it's going to take the full 16 minutes, because it said 18 to begin with, and we're already 65% of the way there. So unless it runs into like a big app and slows down, I don't think I have any apps though that are large or have a lot of data or anything like that. So I do like Smart Switch though, because it kind of just transfers everything as is. I find that the Google backup doesn't. It just re-downloads your apps. It doesn't like always transfer your home screen. Sometimes it has, but usually most times it doesn't. And there's one thing I hate, it's having to set up my home screen again. I like having it the same, layout. When it changes, it's, like muscle memory and stuff like that. It's hard to find, apps and stuff like that, right where they are. But for anybody just joining, yeah, I technically won an S25 Edge from Samsung. But because I'm the Samsung partner of the Galaxy Squad, that's considered a Samsung affiliate, so they selected me as a winner, but once they found that out, I was disqualified. So I did have to purchase this. Like I said, I didn't buy any cases for it yet. I put the screen protector on, but I'm gonna rock it caseless here for a little bit, just to see, how it feels and all that kind of stuff. So that's what we're gonna do. I will get a Samsung Care Plus on it as well, just in case. I always keep that on most of my devices. I think the only thing I don't have it on is the Pixel. Or obviously not Samsung Care Plus, but a warranty in general. Yeah, I don't think that the time's going down pretty quick. I think it'll be. I think it'll be done pretty quick here. Anybody in the chat have an S25 Edge, or are you considering getting one, or what's stopping you from getting one if you don't have one? Eight minutes left. Yeah, I mean we dropped like 8 minutes in like 4 or 5 minutes. It does look like the navigation gestures didn't transfer their settings, so I'll have to go turn that off, or turn the buttons off. I think it's, I don't know who's charging who, if it's charging my other phone. I thought it said it was charging the S25 Ultra, but it doesn't say it's charging. Almost there. And for those joining, yes, it does support wireless charging. It does not have the magnets, just like the S25s. You can get a case with the magnets in it for Qi 2 charging. It is Qi 2 ready for the 15 watts, but it's not. The magnets aren't built in, same as the other devices. All right, now it looks like it's about to wrap up because we're jumping up here to like 2% at a time. Yeah, now it's going real quick. Galaxy wearable. It's just going to transfer. I guess it's going to probably transfer my watch connection. Maybe, I don't know. Oh no, it's doing settings again. So it might transfer over our navigation bar settings. Maybe. All right, there we go. Done. You can now disconnect. Disconnect. There we go. All right, we'll take that one over off to the side here. Organizing your transfer data. You can now disconnect the USB cable. Connect, allow. Looks like it's going to transfer my Galaxy Watch over. It's got the number on the screen there. Watch is paired. I really like how that just does everything. If you have a paired watch, it basically sets everything up. It's, downloading the watch software for the Watch 7 Manager for my Galaxy Watch Ultra right here. And it's already basically connected it, transferred it. We're just going to turn off the optional stuff again. Terms and conditions, accept, agree. Agree, hello. I don't know what happened. I was just talking good about it, then it stopped working. Couldn't set up your watch. Okay. Apparently it's not going to work. And now my watch isn't showing up. Okay, connection failed. Let's see, let's go. I did disconnect from my other phone, my other phone. Transfer watch to a new phone, yes. Okay, ready to transfer. Scan again. Choose the watch. Confirm. I've had this happen before where I had to do a reset on the watch for it to actually work. So okay, no, it looks like it's gonna work. I don't know why the screen blacked out last time, but it is now transferring, I believe. I think we can close this. My widgets have still not come up at all. And the home screen apps are, a couple of them have come up, like Reddit and Spark. But like these apps are still not available. It still shows them doing something. So I guess it transferred the data and now it's like setting them up or something. But it shows that it's organizing. I guess, okay, so it transferred the app data, but it's installing the apps now. So it didn't actually install them while it was doing that. But you don't have to leave the cable connected, so you can transfer your data and you can unplug your phone and kind of go on about your day without having to be tethered to your other phone, which I guess is kind of nice, kind of speeds up the process and lessens the time that you have to be connected to your other phone. And the apps are popping up as they finish. And then my watch now says you're all set, so it did successfully transfer. We don't need tips or anything like that. I'm glad Samsung finally made it when you set up the watch, you can skip the tutorial, because it used to be every time you set up your watch, it would make you run through the tutorial. Best of the best if budget's not an issue. If you're looking for like the best of the best for Android, I would probably say, if you're looking for just a slab phone, then probably the S25 Ultra. It's a little bit more than this. This phone is a nice phone, but this phone is kind of price point, high. Battery life's a little bit less. The features are a little bit less compared to the S25 Ultra. With the Ultra, you get better battery life. The screen, I think, is slightly bigger. It's 6.9 compared to 6.6. You get the S Pen, all that kind of stuff. So, like productivity-wise and stuff like that, then definitely the S25 Ultra. If you want a foldable, probably I would say the Fold 6. Yeah, I had a Fold 6 back over the summer that I used for quite a while actually, and it was a great phone. And I actually said that this phone thickness-wise is about the thickness of an open Fold 6. So that's kind of what the feel of this reminds me of, is like the Fold 6 when it's unfolded and not, you know, sandwiched together. I haven't tried a Pixel Fold, so I can't comment on that. Pixel 9 Pro, 9 Pro XL, those are really good phones as well. Plus they're already on Android 16. If you're between the Fold 6 and the S25 Ultra, I mean, for me, probably the S25 Ultra. And that is just like, I mean, if you want a foldable, get the Fold 6. If you want a slab phone like this, get the S25 Ultra. Only reason I say that is because for the Fold for me is I find myself using the outer screen a lot more than using the inner screen. So I feel like it was just a waste. But if you think that you would use the phone unfolded, like, and actually use it to its full potential, then I would say get the Fold 6. So if you're between those two phones, the determining factor there is just going to be the price and whether or not you're actually going to use the phone opened up or not. If you think that, you know, maybe your day-to-day usage, opening it up and unfolding it is going to be inconvenient, like if you're walking around a lot and you don't want to unfold it and, you know, have it in two hands like this, if that's going to be inconvenient, then get the S25 Ultra. And that's kind of what it was for me. Like at work, it was just inconvenient for me to unfold it to have the bigger screen. I didn't do that a lot. So having the larger screen of the Ultra without having to open the phone, as opposed to having the Fold folded with the smaller screen, is why I switched to the Ultras. But we may be getting, I mean, Unpack coming up here in a few weeks. We may be getting a Fold with a little bit larger screen on the outside. So if you wait a little bit, you might get kind of a mix between the two. I mean, I have a 16 Pro Max as well. You know, you can look up and see what's upcoming with iOS 26 and see if, you know, you're interested in that. If not, then yeah, the S25 Ultra is a great phone. This does really feel nice though. I like how this feels. It's not heavy. It's very light, very thin. It makes the OS just feel a lot different too, being different like that. I don't think the setting's going to change our thing here. So let me go in here to display. I think everything else did what it was supposed to. Put it on Quad HD. Navigation bar, swipe gestures, and we're going to turn the sensitivity up just a little bit. I think, let's see, Good Lock is installed. So we're going to go to, what is it, Navstar, I think. Is it not downloaded? Oops. Going to install this. Do I think same? No, not really. I mean, if you look at iOS 26 and you look at this, they're pretty much completely different. iOS is more of a, iOS 26 is like a glassy look. This isn't at all, I don't think. Okay, so we're going to go to Navstar. We're going to allow this. We're going to turn on enable extra gesture settings, and what that's going to do is that's going to let us, one, you can do the little three swipes if you want, depending on if you want it to act like the home button. But now we can turn off the gesture hint and get a little bit more screen space. I don't need the gesture hint. I know where the gestures are. I've been using these forever. So we can do that. As you can see, start up Google Play here. No, I don't want recommendations. We're going to have a poop ton of app updates, as always, but it looks like most of our other stuff is getting installed here. So that's good. Let's see, does it transfer the logins? No, but we do have a passkey, so. Okay, we're going to have to get the verification code, which I have on my Mac, on the Passwords app. I don't think I might not have used the passkey. That might be why it's doing that, but who knows? I don't really care. Let's see, passkeys. How do I have 13 passkeys on my Mac now? Did these transfer from somewhere else? I don't remember having that many. I had like 2 before. these? I don't think all these are passkeys. Oh, these are passkeys, not the verification codes. But the verification code is also in there. That's what it was. Okay, that makes sense. Okay, there we go. So we're in X here. As you can see here, we've got front page tech blasting iOS 26. And he, of course, made some crappy video, no valid points. Steve Jobs wouldn't like it. Of course, we can't say that. iOS is ruined. Called it slop. And how could Apple ship this? It's a developer beta. True. Exactly. Valid points. You can't say that iOS 26 is a mess when it's not done yet. So I hate when people do that. Like, I make videos about the battery life and people are always like, oh, well, that's what you get for installing a beta. That's what you get for installing a beta. You should have known. You shouldn't install the beta if you're going to complain about the battery life. It's not that I'm complaining about the battery life. It's that I'm making videos on the state of the betas as they come out. And people always are asking in my comments, should I install the beta? Should I install this on my device? I want to try the new feature. Should I use it? Should I try beta 1 or should I wait? So I make these videos about how bad the battery life is and how bad the performance is to show these people, hey, if you install this, this is what you're going to get. So that's why, that's why I do that. It's not that I'm complaining about it or anything like that. It's that I'm showing the state of it right now for people who think it might be a good idea to install it. And sometimes maybe it is. Sometimes it works perfectly fine and it might be just fine to install it on your device. But iOS 26 has a pretty big redesign. So beta 1 is a buggy mess. Yes, there's a lot of stuff that does work, but there's quite a few things that are kind of messed up right now. Battery life sucks. The performance has gotten better after the device kind of, set things back up. But the battery life for me did not really improve. I charge my iPhone like 2 to 3 times a day just to kind of keep it topped up to get through the day. I could probably charge it like 1.5 times and get through the day just fine, but the way the battery drains, if I were to go somewhere, if I were to have to go somewhere, just having the battery topped up is kind of a necessity right now on iOS 26 beta 1. So that's where we're at on that. The S25 Ultra display, I haven't heard of any display issues on the S25 Ultra. The S24 Ultra had like some issues with a grainy display, but that I haven't heard of anything like that on the S25s or the Edge or anything like that. I think the Edge and the S25 Ultra basically have, in a sense, the same display. So I wouldn't worry about display issues or hardware issues on that or anything like that on either of these devices. Obviously, battery life on this one is going to be less than the Ultra. So if you're looking for battery life, then you're going to want to get the Ultra. If battery life is not a huge concern for you, if you're kind of a light to medium user and you just want a nice, thin, portable, easy to carry, lightweight phone that has plenty of power, because this has the same, the same specs basically as the S25 Ultra. Processor wise, I think this is, let's see. I think it has 12 gigs of RAM. Yeah, so it's 6.7 inches, so 0.2 inches smaller than the Ultra. 12 gigs of RAM with the Snapdragon 8 Elite. So, spec-wise, very comparable to the S25 Ultra, other than S Pen support, the extra camera, and slight screen size difference. But other than that, both great phones. Just kind of, again, if you need a little bit more battery, S25 Ultra. If you want more portability over battery, then the Edge is a great phone. I mean, we know how this phone is going to perform, software-wise, because it's basically the same as the Ultra. It's just the thinness and stuff like that. We already know how durable this phone is, because if you watch Jerry Rig Everything, passed his bin test. I mean, a phone this thin passed his bin test. So that was a huge concern for everybody. And turns out we don't have the issues that we thought we did. So not something you need to worry about. and we're still optimizing, still installing apps here, so 28 minutes to go. It looks like most of my home screen apps have installed. Looks like we're almost there. But as you can see, I started off, I think, in the 60% range for battery life when I first started. I think it dropped about 10% so far. But we're, transferring data, installing apps, all that kind of stuff, very processor intensive right here. So obviously that's going to drop your battery kind of quick. You're going to have to give it probably 12 to 24 hours while things optimize in the background. But if you're looking for the Edge, or if you're looking for the Ultra, they're both great phones. So again, that's the kind of the size difference right here. Let's keep facing the same direction. There we go. So kind of the size difference. I'd say this phone is about half the thickness of the, maybe 1.5 of the Ultra here. So definitely a completely different feel. But nerd, if you're looking for the Ultra, I'm gonna put the Ultra in my YouTube pinned products as well. If you want to purchase one from there, it helps out the channel. So if you use one of my links, that would be greatly appreciated. If you are looking at buying one. Let's see. Let me get you the Samsung link. I'll also put an Amazon link in there too. I know some people prefer to shop on Amazon. The YouTube shopping link will take you directly to the Samsung website. All right, I'm just going to tag the jet black one in there for you. You can just click that link and switch it if you want to buy a different color or storage size or anything like that. It doesn't matter as long as you just click that, click the link. And then I'll put one, like I said, I'll put anybody interested, I'll put the Amazon link in there too in case you prefer to buy from Amazon. I'm pretty sure they're both the same price right now. Actually, it looks like the 256 gigabyte S25 Ultra is 23% off on Amazon right now. So if you buy on Amazon, then you can get, it's $9.99 right now. So the Ultra you can actually get cheaper than the Edge. So, oops, what did I do? Okay, there we go. Put that in the description for you. So if you are interested in purchasing an Ultra, then you can check Amazon. They've got the best price right now. Okay, I told this story at the beginning of the stream, but I commented on, Samsung had a live stream on the launch day for this, where you could put in your Instagram handle and they would select 3 people to win this, and then a couple other like buds and a watch and stuff like that. So I'm part of the Samsung Galaxy Squad, where I do post for Samsung. I do like videos for Samsung. You'll see some of my shorts and some of my ex-poster tags Samsung partner. That's for this, and then I get points for doing that I can redeem for rewards like Amazon gift cards, DoorDash gift cards, some products, stuff like that. So I technically was selected as a winner, but then once I filled out all the paperwork for it, they were like, oh, sorry, you're part of the Galaxy Squad, and you're not eligible because you're technically a Samsung affiliate. So I actually bought this phone. That's why it says kinda in the title, because I technically did win one, and had I not been part of the Galaxy Squad, I would have won one, but I was disqualified because I was a Samsung affiliate. So once I found that out, I did end up buying this with my own money on Amazon. So this was not free or anything like that. I did purchase this with my own money, but technically I did win one. I just wasn't able to get it. So kind of sucks, but it is what it is. I get a lot of stuff from the Samsung affiliate program thing, partnership. So yeah, I don't know. Like, I mean, it was a YouTube live stream, so I mean, it was in the rules that you couldn't be a Samsung employee, affiliate, family, that kind of stuff. But you couldn't really see the rules up front because, like I said, it was just a YouTube comment that they selected it from. But I mean, you know, it is what it is. I get a lot of gift cards and stuff like that from the Samsung Galaxy Squad stuff. So I mean, it's still, I could have, I could have technically, like, if I saved all my gift cards from what I've gotten from the Galaxy Squad, I could have bought this anyway with those gift cards. So, you know, it's still pretty good deal. Okay, data transfer is complete. We don't need to see the results because all this stuff is on my phone. So there we go. I'm just gonna go to the Play Store and update all the apps now that are. I don't know why it installs these, and then there's a bunch of updates. Like, why does it not install the updated version right off the bat? Kind of confusing. I've also got this. This is a Basis Qi 2 wireless charger. Obviously, this phone doesn't have magnets in it, so it's not gonna stick. But I can still place it on there, and you can see it is wireless charging. Phone of the year. I don't know. I'm just gonna sit this on there so it's kind of plugged in while it's downloading updates and stuff. Phone of the year. Android wise, probably the S25 Ultra. It's got the, you know, cameras, the pen, battery life. This probably comes in, I think, close second to the S25 Ultra. The only reason I would pick the S25 Ultra over this one is, again, the battery life. And then, I mean, iPhone 16 Pro Max is good. That's always pretty much, you know, a go-to for everybody. Have I tried the OnePlus 13? I did. I do have videos of it on the channel as well. I had the OnePlus 13 actually for a little while, and it was a good phone. OnePlus software, I think, is probably, in terms of like speed and fluidity, is probably top notch. But One UI has definitely gotten a lot better as well. And the OnePlus 13 definitely has some killer battery life because it's got the silicon carbide, whatever it is, battery. The new technology that Samsung hopefully will switch to in the S26s. So it's got some really good battery life. OnePlus has really good charging speeds too. I think the charger that comes in the box does like 85 watts, but if you get a different charger that you can buy on their website, I think the phone is actually capable of up to 100 watts. So you can definitely charge it in, like, I think it's like 30 minutes. But yeah, OnePlus is definitely a good one too. I wish they would have come out with a second foldable because I had the OnePlus Fold a couple years ago. And if I was going to get another foldable, I would want another OnePlus Fold, but I wouldn't pay like $1,200 or $1,600 to get the current OnePlus Fold because it's already a few years old. The Honor, I don't know anything about those because we don't have those in the US. So I don't like Honor, Huawei, stuff like that. I don't follow any of their stuff because they're not really for sale in the US. You'd have to import them. So I don't have any reason to look at it. I mean, there are some Huawei devices and Honor devices that I've seen people post videos of that, I mean, they look really cool, but I've never used one. I never really would have the ability to use one. Xiaomi, no, we don't have that either. We used to have Huawei, kinda, but then once they got that whole thing with the Play Store and all that kind of stuff is like banned on it or whatever, it gone away. Let's see if these apps have updated yet. Looks like they have, because yeah, all my widgets have come up and everything, so that's good. Fingerprints, pin, let's see. I don't think the beta is available for this phone yet. Okay, that's gonna, I think that, yeah, it's restoring that. Let's see, let's go to the Samsung members. This phone just feels like when you're just using it, it feels entirely different. It's the same UI, same software and everything as the S25, but it feels entirely different just because the hardware is so thin. Beta program. Yeah, there's no beta program available for the Edge yet. So the One UI beta has not come out for the Edge in the US yet, which we're on beta 2 already. So maybe by beta 3 we'll get an update. I don't really know why it's behind, but it is what it is, I guess. See, I just want to pull out the S Pen and use it on this phone. But of course you can't do that. It does not have one or support it. Okay. I'm just setting some other stuff up real quick. Where are the unlock? Screen it off. Okay, there we go. What's my main daily driver? It's between the iPhone, the Ultra, and probably now the Edge. Before I had the Edge, it was between the iPhone and the Ultra. Those like the two phones that, like, even if I have something like this, like the Razr, like this is like a secondary device that I'll keep for a couple months and try it out and make videos on. But the iPhone and the Ultra are the two phones that I never get rid of. Those are the ones that I'll keep for the entire year, and kind of fall back to those as I, like if I get the Razr, then I'll use the Razr for a couple weeks, and maybe switch back and forth between the other ones. But then, like I said, I'm probably getting ready to sell the Razr now that I got this. Vivo, yeah, we don't have those either. We don't have any of the cool stuff like that. The only brand that we have that's not mainstream that like anybody would probably know is OnePlus. Like Samsung, Apple, and OnePlus, and then Google are really the only. And then Motorola. If you get like the Razr, or Motorola for the Razr or the Stylus or the Edge, stuff like that, we have that. But other than that, it's just Motorola, Samsung, Apple, Google, and OnePlus are like the 5 that I could name. No, OnePlus is Chinese. OnePlus is the same as hold on one sec, let me look. They're owned by Oppo. So we don't have Oppo in the US, but we have OnePlus. But a lot of the Oppo stuff, a lot of the OnePlus stuff, I mean, they haven't always been part of Oppo, I don't think. But a lot of the OnePlus stuff, or a lot of the, I don't know if it's Oppo stuff is rebranded from OnePlus, or OnePlus is rebranded from Oppo. But like, if you look at the OnePlus Open, the foldable, it is basically the same thing as the Oppo variant of it. Just there's a few subtle changes. Why is OnePlus? I mean, the OnePlus has always been a very, very I don't want to say cheap phone, as like cheap as in like bad, but it's been a very, very like budget phone. Like their OnePlus, when they first came out, was known for their low priced with flagship specs. Like you could get like even like the OnePlus like 6 when I had that. I mean, it was still like flagship processor with like 8 gigs of RAM, which was a lot for back when that was out. No, they're not cheap as in bad quality. They're just very competitively priced. They have very good software. I've never had a hardware problem with the OnePlus, and I've had the OnePlus Open, the foldable, and I didn't have any issues with that. I don't think they have. Do they still have the? Okay, yeah, it's back in stock on their website. I mean, the OnePlus Open it's a really nice phone, but it's $1,700, and it's been out for a couple years minimum now. I don't want to pay $1,700 for a phone that's already been out for a few years. I think it has Android 15. I'm pretty sure, but still, 16 gigs of RAM with 512 gigabytes of storage. But yeah, I mean, the OnePlus you're looking at $899. The 13R. I haven't had any of the R models. I think they're still pretty decent, but I like the faster wireless charging and stuff like that the regular like OnePlus 13 comes with. But if you don't care about that stuff, you can get 12 gigs of RAM with 256 gigabytes of storage on the 13R for $549. So it is. I mean, that's why I switch back and forth between so many of them, because there's stuff I like about there's stuff I like about each phone that not the other phone doesn't have. Like this one, it's got the S Pen. I like the form factor of this one. I wish this had the S Pen, but it doesn't. And the iPhone, I like iOS, but kind of I like the hardware of this one better. So it's that's why I have like four of them and just switch between them, so I can kind of get the best of all of them. But yeah, no, OnePlus, they're not a bad brand at all. The only thing I would say is if you're in the U.S., is Samsung, Apple, and Google are going to be your three go-tos as far as like you can go into a store and get a case, or Apple, you can go into an Apple store and get support, or like even mail-in warranty and stuff like that. Samsung, Apple, Google are going to be the three easiest for that. OnePlus is a little bit better. I don't know how Motorola is because I've only had a few Motorola's. I've never had to do any kind of warranty stuff with a Motorola or a OnePlus or anything like that, so I don't know like firsthand experience. But I just know as like as far as like physical, like presence, there's a lot of places you can get support for an iPhone, whether it be like officially at an Apple store. Thank you for the sub. Popped up on the alert there. But there's a lot of places you can walk in and get like support for an iPhone, whether it be at an Apple store or like an authorized provider. And then if you have to do like a mail-in thing because you don't have an Apple store near you, it doesn't take that long. Same thing with Samsung. OnePlus, I mean, iPhone 14 to OnePlus 13. If you don't mind going from iOS to Android, it's a good upgrade. The OnePluses have very very smooth software. They're very very smooth. They're very snappy. They have a lot of memory. Like I'm pretty sure the OnePlus 13 is, the OnePlus 13 is 16 gigs of RAM, depending on which one it is. If it's the 256 gigabyte storage one, it's 12 gigs, and then if it's the 512, it's 16 gigs. So they have plenty of memory for multitasking and games and that kind of stuff. So they're definitely very good phones. Like I said, they have very fast charging, and they have very good batteries. They have the new silicon carbon battery, so fast charging it and stuff like that doesn't destroy your battery. But yeah, I mean, OnePlus go to you probably OnePlus is probably a little bit more supported in. I see you put pounds, so you're in the UK, I'm guessing. I think they're probably a little bit more known over there than here. Because I mean, most people in America, they're familiar with, like I said, Samsung, Apple. I mean, Samsung and Apple are the top two. Google's not even. The Pixel is becoming more popular. I would say the hardware on the Pixel 9 definitely bumped them up some, but Pixels. I think were kind of mid-tier phones for quite a while. A lot of the first Pixels were plastic and stuff like that. They had good screens and good cameras, but now the build quality has finally been bumped up. Probably 7, 8, 9 definitely. But before that, they weren't the best. I have a Pixel 9 just because I use it for the Android beta because it's the first to get it. So I use it for that. Android 16 is really nice too. But I like One UI. They kind of jacked it up with the One UI 7 beta, with how late it was. But now we have One UI. We're already on the One UI 8 beta. I have the One UI 8 beta on my Ultra. It's not really different at all. There's not too much that has changed, and I think that's partly because they're trying to, One UI 7 was a big update. One UI 8 is kind of like Poco. No, we don't have nothing like that. I think a lot of those Chinese, most of those are Chinese brands, I think. We don't have any of those in the US. You can like import them, but whether they work on a carrier, get updates, that kind of stuff is another story. Let's see here. I'll pull this up. Let's see what the most common are. We do have like blue. Like you can get here, let me see. Let's see if this is gonna work. Are you gonna be on the right monitor? That is the right monitor, but that is not today. It's like a stuck image of another time. There we go. I don't know why that did that, but so here's like the brands. Like a lot of those, like Vivo, TCL. We do have TCL phones. You can get TCL phones here. Those are the only two that I see on that list that we have. You can get Unihertz here, which are kind of like Blackberries. We do have Sony, very, very minimal. Like nobody has one, but you can get those. You can get like the Sony phones here. You can get Asus phones. I don't know about Acer. Samsung, obviously. Apple, obviously. Oh, Blue is an American brand. I didn't know that. Caterpillar, we have those, but that's not really. That's not really. I'll show you what those are, but. Of course, the Google, HP. I didn't know that HP made a phone. I don't know what those are. I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is. Motorola, Microsoft. They had the Surface phone, the Surface Duo. They don't make that anymore though. But if we go over to Best Buy, which is like, if you're not from the U.S., is like an electronics retailer. And then we go to phones. I got the Lenovo Legion 2, by the way. I'll make a video on it, but it's super nice. It's like a Nintendo Switch, but it runs Windows. But the controller is detachable, unlike most handheld gaming PCs. So if we just go to unlocked phones here, unlocked phones. The cat phone, yeah, the cat phones are like rugged. Like they're not really for performance, but they're like super rugged, durable phones. Like if you're like a construction worker, that's who they're like marketed towards. Somebody who's like on a job site all the time. But yeah, we've got the Pixel, the iPhone, Motorola, Samsung. Best Buy sells OnePlus. You can get OnePlus phones at Best Buy. But yeah, as you can see, it's mainly Motorola, Samsung, Apple, Pixels, and then like a lot of the other brands like Blue, stuff like that are going to be like prepaid phones and like prepaid carriers, just as like cheap cheap alternatives. Like this one, like it's, you know, $139. That one's unlocked, but still, it's, you know, they're just cheap phones. I'm trying to find, I have no clue what that is. HMD. Apparently we have those. If obviously it's just some stupid, like, I don't even know if that's like an actual phone or not, but um, yeah. I was trying to find something other than one of these three brands. Pixel Fold. Those are nice looking phones, but no, price too high. I mean, even these are expensive, but still. I mean, I really liked my Fold 6 when I had it. Like we have Nokia, but Nokia again, you're getting like a flip phone. Nobody uses those anymore. I don't think we have. I haven't seen any like Nokia smart. Oh no, there's one right there. Nokia smartphones, but again, just cheap, super cheap budget phones. Most of Motorola stuff is going to be like the Moto G, Moto G Play, Moto G Power, stylus, stuff like that. Really, the only thing that Razer has, or that Motorola has in the U.S. that's worth anything is the Razers. Anything else is just, you know, again, budget phone. The Edge is kind of a mid tier. But yeah, it's basically just a bunch of different versions of iPhones and stuff like that on here, as you can see. The phone's processor, I mean, that kind of determines a lot of stuff. Like if you have a crappy processor, but I mean, you're not gonna have like, you know, a phone. You can't customize a phone like you can. Like if I custom build a computer, I can put in a crappy processor and put in a bunch of memory and a good graphics card, but the graphics card's not going to be able to, you know, you're not going to be able to take full advantage of the memory in the graphics card if you have a low-end CPU. If you have a high-end CPU with a low-end graphics card and not a lot of memory, you're not going to be able to take advantage of the high-end CPU. So you kind of got to, everything's got to work together. On a phone, obviously, that's kind of already done for you because you're not building it piece by piece. So if you get a phone with a bad CPU or a low-end CPU, you're not going to have a lot of memory, you know, most likely. So I would say, yeah, like if you're looking at a phone, like obviously like a higher end Snapdragon processor or like one of the Snapdragon Elites is probably going to be a higher end phone. I would say between that and the screen. Some people would say the camera. I'm not really a big photography person, so I don't really like between the Ultra and the Edge, 3 cameras. That means absolutely nothing to me. Nowadays, I haven't taken a phone and be like, oh wow, that camera, you know, totally sucks. Like if you buy one of these, you know, $100 blue phones, the camera is going to be an absolute potato. But if you get basically any iPhone that's going to still support modern iOS, or any Samsung that's worth updating or that you can still update, the camera's going to be just fine. So I'd probably say, yeah, if you're looking at like, I mean, if you're looking at a phone now, like a new phone, like a current model, any Samsung S model is going to have a flagship processor. Any Google Pixel, I mean, the past, I think, 3 have their own processor, own Google made processor. So, okay, Google. Okay, Google. Stop. My Echo, or my, not my Echo, my Google Nest Hub thing is talking because I said Google. Well, like if you look at this, let's see, here's the Pixel 9a, which is the budget Pixel. Let's see what that has. So if we go down here, well, this is going to be a Tensor. This isn't going to be a Snapdragon. This is the same. It's got the same processor as any Pixel 9. So the processor is the same. You get a little bit less memory, but you still get a lot of memory on a Pixel. Like 8 gigs. 8 gigs is definitely plenty. The Pixel 9, I think, is 12. And then the Pixel 9 Pro goes up to 16. On an iPhone, obviously, that's not something you need to look at because you can't, well, Apple doesn't even advertise it, and you can't change it. There's no, you know, iPhones are all basically the same. But yeah, any S model Samsung is going to be the same. Like whether you get the S25 or the S25 Ultra, it's the same processor. I think even the memory is the same. And when I say memory, I mean the RAM, not the storage. Obviously, the storage you can choose different ones. But let's see. I don't even know if they make up-to-date ones of these. They did have smartphones. Yeah, they have smartphones. But yeah, like 4 gigs of memory. No, it's not that much. Snapdragon 660, I don't know, Nano's the car slot. Snapdragon 660, that's pretty old. But yeah, I mean, they're like, these are just like rugged phones. I mean, obviously that's a super old version of Android. What are we even looking at there? Android doesn't say, it just says Android. But HD 720p. I mean, these are old anyway. These aren't like, yeah, 2018. So it's not anything new. The phone's already 6 years old, so, or 7 years old. I don't know if they have updated ones. I haven't seen these come out with anything new in a while. I mean, some of them have some cool features like thermal cameras and stuff like that. Like, when did this come out? Let's see, item details. I don't see a year on that one. Sometimes it'll tell you like the date first available on Amazon, but it's got Android 10. So not terrible, but it's still 5 years old. This is probably like a 2020. But I mean, rugged phone, metal, covered ports, that kind of stuff. Back isn't glass, it's rugged. It's, meant to be dropped and carried around in dirt and dust and all that kind of stuff. Speaker wise, I haven't really compared the speakers on them. I mean, iPhone 16 to the S25 Edge. I mean, at that point, you're kind of just comparing two different models or two different makes of phones that are in the same tier. I mean, the specs are going to be top notch for both. I use my AirPods all the time, or my some kind of headphones. I never really, like, the only time I use the speaker on the phone is mainly like if I'm on speakerphone. I don't really like play music or anything like that, or watch videos out loud. It's all just, like I said, like talking to somebody on speakerphone or something like that. That's basically the gist of it. But I mean, what I would look at for you would be whether you want, like, if you're comparing an iPhone 16 to an S25 Ultra to a Fold. At that point, you need to decide on whether you want iOS or you want Android. And then if you choose Android, you need to decide whether you want a foldable or a slab phone. And then that's going to be your, the first one's going to be whether you choose an iPhone or a Samsung. And the second thing, whether you want a fold or a slab phone, is going to determine whether you get a Fold or a S25 Ultra. That would be how I narrow it down. Like, do I want iOS or do I want Android? We already know you can look up and see iOS 26 and what that's going to be like. If you have an iPhone, you can install beta and try it if you want. I wouldn't do it right now, but you can try it if you want. Or if you can go on and see what One UI 8 is going to be like. Or even just if you try One UI 7, it's basically the same. So you need to decide between. I wouldn't go based on brand right now. I would go, you're obviously looking at the S25, an S25 or a Fold, and an iPhone. So do you want iOS, Android, and then if you want iOS, 16 Pro Max, easy peasy. There's only, that's pretty much your selection there. Obviously you can get a Pro Max, whether you get a Pro or Pro Max, that's just your screen size is really the only difference there. I mean, the batteries are different sizes, but when you factor in the screen sizes, it doesn't really matter. You're not getting much different. The battery being bigger on the Max is just making up for the larger screen pretty much. So don't take that into account. Or you can get a regular 16 or 16 plus, same thing, screen size. Camera features on the 16 versus the Max are basically going to be your difference there. And the screen, the ProMotion screen, 120 hertz is, you know, on the pros instead of the regular ones. So if that's something important, you know, there's the difference between the pro and the regular. There's not too much of a difference. So, and then if you want to go with Android, again, same thing. Just pick one based on whether you want a big one or if you want a, you know, slab phone. Because I mean, Samsung, whether you get the S25, the S25 Plus, the S25 Edge, the S25 Ultra, your hardware is basically the same, other than screen size and resolution to a point. But again, when you're changing screen sizes like that, you don't really need to look at, okay, well, the Ultra's got a higher resolution than the S25, but the S25's got a smaller screen, so it makes up for the difference. I don't know if you heard me earlier, but Xiaomi, we don't have Xiaomi either. Somebody commented that, but we don't have that either, unfortunately. Let's see. I'm just typing some stuff on the Edge here. I really like this phone. Let me transfer my SIM in the Visible app. If anybody needs Visible or needs a second line or phone plan or anything like that, check my description. I do have a discount for Visible in there. I think it gets you $20 off the next month, which I think if you get the cheaper plan, that'll make it like a $5 a month. Or if you get the most expensive plan, I believe that makes it a $20 or $25 a month. Let's see, you need to get the IMEI. Yep. Paste, oops. Next. Continue. The verification code. I don't think Smart Switch transferred my pass. Yeah, it didn't. Passwords didn't come over, I don't think. I mean, I guess they did, but it doesn't like re-sign into your apps. I'm probably actually going to go play some BeamNP, so I might live stream that. They just had an update today, so if anybody wants to watch me play some BeamNG multiplayer, I'm going to probably stop this stream in a second and and live stream that once I get my once I get this set up. Let's see. I'm just waiting on this email to sign in. There we go. So I can get my pen here. All right. Yeah. So I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go play some BeamNG. See if my friend wants to hop on. So thank you guys for watching this unboxing. Thank you for everybody in the chat. And like I said, I'm probably gonna go stream over there. It might be a few minutes before I get it started, but other than that, thank you guys for watching. If you're not already subscribed, thank you for the subscriptions that we did get in the chat, or in the stream rather. And if you're not already subscribed, make sure you click that button so you don't miss any future videos. I'm Colin with Techout. Have a great night.